Welcome in to the 28th episode of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. My name is Drew Hull, alongside my co-host Ben Clay,
What's going on, guys?
as well as Beatty Noon.
How y'all doing?
Back on the podcast, episode 28. College football playoff semifinals have concluded. It is a new year. It's 2023. Made 27 episodes back in 2022. And, we continue the grind here. I think Ben said we'll end up with 52 episodes by the end of when?
Well, I'm saying there's
52 weeks in a year. So, I see what you did there. Okay, clever.
Right.
We're still working on getting in person. Should be coming soon. That will be fun. Ben picked up the new mic, the Snowball.
I'm not using it, but yeah, sure.
Oh, you're not. Well, yeah, I
No.
knew you weren't using it. Let's take a peek for the YouTube viewers.
It's a
Pretty
Snowball.
nice. Yeah, it's not bad.
My mom's computer doesn't have a little USB thing, so I got to figure that out. But we'll see.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
Adapter.
Other than that, Beatty is back on the show. How was your new year, bud? We'll start with you. A lot of catching up to do, but let's hear it.
Yeah, it was great. Just all the normal stuff. We had a New Year's party. It was pretty fun. A bunch of people came over, and we just had a blast celebrating the new year. But yeah, I'm excited to be back on. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Have you ever been here in Nashville? There's a trampoline park called, I think it's Defy now, but it used to be
they
Above
changed
All.
it. Above All. It used to be Above All. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Defy now. I don't know if that's in any other city except here. But yeah, it's called Defy. The cousins were in town. So Weston and his girlfriend came in town. And then his brother, his two brothers, and then obviously my aunts and uncles were all in town for New Year's. And we kind of did a Christmas thing since they weren't in town for Christmas or really near that date. And we went to Defy. They put on. Have you guys? Wow. Do you guys know what slam ball is?
No,
Like trampoline basketball.
Trampoline basketball. They
Dunk on
put it
somebody?
in 3-on-3 with 8-foot goals.
They put it in.
Weston, yeah, they have a slam ball court there. Weston is
tough.
6'5", okay?
Yeah.
So it was really, we didn't lose a game. We were 12-0. It was me, Weston, and one other cousin. Really two other cousins, but they kind of alternated in and out.
You get any head tops?
Two, actually, same kid. He was chatting, and there was a guy courtside who almost positive was committed to play basketball at Maryland. He's like 6'8". He was wearing a Maryland basketball shirt and some sweatpants, and he was on Instagram Live, just threw it down on this kid, not the Maryland kid, but there was this kid that we went to middle school with. No names will be said until we're off the air. Just, I don't want to call him out. He's on my poster. But yeah, he was on Instagram Live. He was chasing me down the court, and they were like, dunk it. Let him catch up to me, put it on his head, hang on the rim with one hand, let it go. We didn't lose a game. It was so fun, though. But yeah, then actual basketball, didn't want to think that I could actually dunk the ball. So it was a bit of a reality check when all you can do is slap the glass on a layup. So Ben, it's been a week since we have recorded New Year's Day and all of that. Let's hear it from you, bud.
Yeah, it was good. I also had a few people come over for New Year's. It was nice. The bowl games on New Year's were amazing. Actually, it was a good way to pass the time there. Past few years we've had blowouts, and it's been I don't even feel like watching it. But all these were amazing.
Really good games. Yep.
And so yeah, it was a good way. Me and Beatty got the license today. We're ready. Yeah, we're ready to get on the road. We'll see about that, but yeah, it was a good week.
Yeah, yep, for sure. I think 3-on-3 slam ball, we would be decent. Beatty might bring us down a bit, but Beatty used to grab some rebounds back in the day. Some
PE basketball, dude.
PE basketball. He would catch outlet pass to me. Team
I
take
just remember how terrible his jumper was.
Yeah.
So I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, we might be in some trouble there. But yeah, I mean, honestly, the biggest part of it was just like so like it's a short court, so behind half court is a 2-pointer, everything inside is a 1-pointer.
Okay.
So I would just pull up for two. If I missed, it would just ricochet off. Weston would tip back the rebound. Then we're in the offense, and never went wrong. Never shamed us
On the
once.
offense.
And then at Defy, the time runs out. Your time runs out.
Yeah.
Our
That's
time
true.
ran out right before we were about to play the big old the Maryland commit and a couple other dudes that he was with. Would not have gone well for us. I'm not going to lie to you. That we might have ran into a problem there. But guys, bowl games are upon us. Before we start though, 97 followers on Instagram. We've been sitting there for like
Bruh,
maybe a
it has
month.
not changed. I'm actually so pissed about it. Like, come on, guys.
We were at 98 at a certain point, and then it just plateaued. Ben has been cooking up some nice graphics over on
Oh, yeah.
Instagram, some final score graphics within the top 25, and really just bowl action at this point. And yeah, so trying to get the traction, trying to get the followers up over there on IG. So if you're not following and you're listening or watching on YouTube, be sure on YouTube it's on the little ticker below the screen, so you can see it there. But it's at Southern_boy_sports pod, and yeah, man, it's a grind to get to 100, but we are on the road to get there. Twitter as well. We're at 153, I believe, over there, so we're trying to get to 200. And on YouTube, we got 21 views on the first video, so it's a grind. It's a grind here in 2023. Definitely some goals that we'd love to meet. But we're moving in the right direction. Guys, we ready to recap some bowl games? Let me lay out the episode. How foolish of me to start the episode. We've got a bowl recap, a couple games between the New Year's Six, and then obviously two really good college football playoff semifinal games that we will touch on. After that, we will hit the break, and when we come back, we have the top college football moments of 2022. That includes games, moments, game winners, whatever you want to call them. They will be included. We're going to do it in a snake draft. So we've got five. We're going to do 5 moments each, snake draft, and we'll decide the order once we get to that point. But yeah, let's start it off. Beatty, I'm going to kick to you. Which bowl game do you want to start with? We're going to start. We can pick and choose down the stretch. Couple games I want to touch on. There's like 15 games though, so we won't cover each and every one because that would maybe take us an hour. So Let's touch on a couple of these bigger bowl games. Really good games down the stretch. Beatty, where do you want to start, man?
Let's start with some recent action. Let's go with the Cotton Bowl today.
Let's do it. Cotton Bowl. Tulane out of the group of 5, the American Athletic Champions, earn a bowl bid to the Cotton Bowl. They take on USC and complete the comeback. Green Wave 46, Trojans 45. Caleb Williams went to the tent early in the game. I know he had some problems, but he ended up returning 37 for 52, 5 touchdowns, and 462 yards through the air.
Yeah.
Tulane could not get the passing game going, to be honest. Only 17 passing attempts for Pratt. And I said it coming into this game. USC has to force Michael Pratt to beat him. Michael Pratt played a good game, but Ty J. Spears, 17 touches, over 200 yards, and 4 touchdowns. What a way to go out for the American Athletic Player of the Year. I don't know if he's going to go to the draft. He's only a junior, so obviously he has a year of eligibility. I think one more year, Tulane has a really good season. He's up there with a Heisman contender status if Tulane can win some ball games. If not, probably don't see it happening. But if Tulane can figure out a way to not, I mean, they dropped the game earlier in the season that they definitely shouldn't have dropped to UCF, number 1, into Southern Miss by 3 points. They win that game. They're sitting at 13 wins right now, and probably a little bit better of a ranking. But nonetheless, Tulane plus 1.5 spread coming into this ball game. They win it. And yeah, ultimately a really, really good game. Green Wave pull it out by 1. And yeah, man, it was a tough running game for both, or not for both teams, but for USC. And Tulane 46, USC 45, Ben.
Yeah, it's just a wild one. I mean, it was like 30-45, and I was like, oh yeah, this one's over. But then Tulane gets a touchdown that like causes safety. And then, like you're saying, USC does force Pratt to win the game, and he actually comes through. So
Yeah.
that was good for him on that last drive of the game. He was pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyjae Spears was amazing. I mean, Caleb Williams had a Heisman game, 5 touchdowns is wild, but this is just a good win for Tulane. When I'm saying Lincoln Riley isn't a championship winning head coach,
That's
I
Ben's
think
hot
it's
take.
showing. I think it's showing.
Yeah.
But okay, Ben. If
What?
Lincoln Riley was still at Oklahoma, would you say the same thing?
I think you
Yes,
would.
honestly, I
I think
would.
you. I think if he
We're
was
0 wait, are we 0-4?
0-3 or
Or
0-4 in the college football playoff.
I'm forgetting now, but yeah, we have not won a single playoff game. So
Yeah. I mean, I just think
it's the defense.
what
It's
I
the defense,
yeah,
honestly.
and what I said when we were talking about it, just slight bit in the group chat before we got on air was if you cannot win or at least make the playoff with a Biletnikoff winner back in 2021, obviously Jordan Addison transferred in from Pittsburgh, and the Heisman winner in Caleb Williams, there's no way you don't make a college football playoff. That offense is just too good. You had Travis Dye, who was a great running back in the Pac-12, who ultimately ended up getting injured. But I mean, there are a couple games with him that should have won by a bigger margin. And yeah, I mean, they were just shaky almost the whole year. You play Oregon State in a close game at Oregon State. It kind of started there. Then you beat Arizona State 42-25, nice win. But then 2 games later, you lose to Utah, who good team,
Utah had a good
obviously,
number.
but
Yeah.
whatever. You lose to Utah again in the Pac-12 championship. You play a close game against Cal, Arizona, UCLA. You only beat Notre Dame by 11, right? There's just a lot of things that could have gone a little bit better for Lincoln Riley and the USC Trojans. And at the end of the day, what did they end up? 11-3 season is good, but just more of the same of what we've seen out of Lincoln Riley with really talented team, really talented quarterback, and obviously a good, like, I mean, he had 3 Heisman winners at Oklahoma and could not win a playoff game for the life of him. So
Yeah.
he's a great coach. He's a great offensive coach. The defense needs to be fixed. 46 points to Tulane. I mean, no disrespect to the Green Wave, but that is the second most points they've scored all season, third. The 3 teams they played, Alcorn State, they put up 52, and SMU, they put up 59, and then USC, they put up 46. So, yeah. I digress.
I mean,
Or go ahead.
I'm sorry. When you think about it, if you're a USC fan, you're trying to look at this positively. I mean, you last year you won like what? Did they win 4 games? 3 or 4
they
games?
were not good. Yeah, they
They're
were
terrible. And then you go 11-3. So I mean, like, there's good things to look at when you come out of it, but
I would
they
say
definitely would have a better
I
season.
don't really know if that's even too impressive. It's not like Lincoln. It's not a Sonny Dykes situation. Sonny Dykes, AP Coach of the Year, obviously deserved it because he came into TCU. There were dudes who came through the portal. There are guys who left. I mean, Zach Evans went to Ole Miss and now has entered the draft. So Sonny Dykes loses a piece there. He had a couple guys transfer in, but he basically made do, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he had guys. Max Dugan, he made him a Heisman contending quarterback, right? He did an excellent job with Max Dugan. He did an excellent job putting TCU in a spot to come out here and really make something out of this season. I don't think anyone would have been disappointed if, they won 9 games, 8 games. I had them winning like 6 or 7. So they surprised me. They have a chance to compete for the national championship, and it's because, look, Tay Barber, he's been at TCU. Kendre Miller, he's been at TCU. Max Dugan, he's been at TCU, right? So you get a bunch of guys over at USC. Jordan Addison transfers in. Caleb Williams transfers in. Travis Dye transfers in. You get a couple of transfers on defense. You get 1 or 2 other transfer receivers, and you can't win or even make the playoff. Is a little surprising. But Beatty, I'll give you your 2 cents on this year's Cotton Bowl.
I think y'all explained it like pretty well. I think it's just disappointing to see Lincoln Riley like have all that talent and just not get. I mean, they got 11 wins out of it, but like not get that bowl trophy at the end. It's just kind of disappointing to see like the award winners, the Heisman winner, like all those people who worked very hard for their individual title, not to get rewarded in the end with that trophy. So, yeah, in the end, and don't get me wrong, Tulane deserved it. Like Tulane, like,
Right.
well, they were like
Yeah.
they won like 2 games last year.
Yeah,
Like,
2-10 to 12 wins.
2-10. Yeah, 2-10.
Yeah.
12
They were
beats.
like terrible last year, and they
It
turned
was the
it
biggest
around in 1 year.
transition in college
Yeah.
football.
Yeah, biggest
So,
turnaround.
props to them, but it's just such a shame to see what USC like did with that talent.
Yep. I mean, same thing that we saw Oklahoma will see 2023, 2024 season if they can get that turned around. We will see. Let's go to the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Cool. Who would have thought this game was just going to turn into a great one, right? Pitt comes out. They are down to UCLA by a score of 28 to, what is that? I think it was 28-21. And then UCLA blows a lead in the fourth quarter. Pitt wins 37-35 on the back of Nick Patty. He played against Tennessee in that early season matchup after Caden Slovis goes down. Obviously, Slovis entered the portal and is now committed to BYU. But yeah, I mean, Rodney Hammond Jr., Nick Patty are the kind of the leaders of this game. Is Israel Abanikanda, is he declared? Is that why he didn't play?
I think that's why he didn't play.
Okay, so Israel Abanikanda did not play this game. Even more surprising of a win. Pitt ends 9-4. They kind of bounced back after struggling early. And DTR 3 interceptions. So if you want to know the story of the game, it's 3 turnovers from Dorian Thompson-Robinson. Just not a phenomenal game from them. 5 total turnovers from the Bruins and just could not hold on to the football. And ultimately, Zach Charbonnet did not play. So TJ Harden obviously had to step in. He ran for his lone touchdown of this season, 111 yards on 11 carries. And yeah, I mean, just a phenomenal game here in the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl. Really fun to watch. ACC, Pac-12, not something you see every day. And at the end of the day, UCLA door wide open to go out and win this ball game, and Pitt outscores them 16-7 in the fourth quarter. Pitt wins by 2, and the ACC comes out victorious here in the Sun Bowl.
Yeah. DTR gets hurt, and then you're like, oh, you got to go with Ethan Garbers, and Ethan Garbers puts up a nice little a potential game-winning drive.
Yep.
And then Nick Patty comes in. No one would expect it, and he brings the Panthers down, and they get a game-winning drive. So I mean, it was a good game all around and fun to watch.
Yeah, Beatty.
Isn't Caden Slovis transferring?
Yeah, BYU.
I don't even.
Let's talk about that transfer. We're on it for a second. I don't think we really touched on it. Slovis started at USC. That didn't work out. Transferred to Pitt. That didn't work out. I know he battled some injuries down the stretch of this season. He didn't play against Tennessee, or I should say the majority of that game. So he's going out to BYU. Is Jaron Hall maybe out at BYU? He may have to compete for a spot at this point. And so Jaron Hall, he's been there. He's a junior, so I doubt he's going to the draft. But yeah, Slovis, Jaron Hall, maybe battling it out in that quarterback room. Yeah, I mean, interesting transfer there from Slovis. Especially he's going back out west, coming to the East Coast, coming to Pitt to USC, and now he's going back out west. And I think Slovis could have done. I think that's about the level you would expect out of Caden Slovis. I mean, maybe like a Liberty, a BYU, just teams of that nature. But Ben, do you have a thought on this one or something else?
Yeah, Jaron Hall did declare, so he's gone. So Slovis is competing for the starting job.
Jaron Hall declared?
Yeah.
Man, I feel like maybe one more year he could solidify himself. Maybe he didn't think. Well, he's going to the Big 12, so maybe he thought he was going to get exposed in the bright lights of the Big 12.
Yeah.
So there's going to be one, I guess that means there's going to be one crossover year where like Oklahoma will play like Houston and BYU, Cincinnati.
Oklahoma and Texas don't leave, yeah.
Okay. And I know reports have said that it's likely to not happen.
Yeah, so. Potential, but
let's go to the Liberty Bowl. Took place kind of in our backyard here in Memphis, Tennessee, and what a game. The Arkansas Razorbacks win 55-53. I mean, they were up big in this ball game. They were up 31-13 at the half.
Yep.
Kansas outscores them 18-0 head in the fourth quarter. And it's a triple OT game. Targeting gives Kansas another shot in this one. Probably a pretty good targeting call, I would say. I thought he definitely led with the crown. We'll get to some questionable targeting calls here down the stretch of this recap. But certainly, Jalen Daniels back, played a really good game. Obviously, he's not the quarterback who threw the game into the third row of the stands. If you were watching, that was Jason Bean. honestly a very questionable play call. I guess you're trying to mix it up. It's third OT, give them something they haven't seen. You got to go for two, so you got to draw something tricky up. Questionable play call, but I think KJ Jefferson played really well. Matt Landers obviously is always a weapon, and you're playing without Raheem Sanders for the majority of this game. He gets injured, so KJ Jefferson's their leading rusher. You have Rashad Dubinion, who steps in and runs for 100+ yards, but at the end of the day, KJ Jefferson, not a great passing game, but they get the job done down the stretch. Really shouldn't have gone into OT, but just an absolute barn burner as Kansas just kept fighting and tying the ball game up.
Yeah, I mean, KJ Jefferson, he's so exciting to watch. I mean, next year it's going to be amazing watching him again because he's just such a dual threat.
Right.
Kansas, Jalen Daniels can make Kansas a good football team. I mean,
We did.
I
Yeah,
know exactly. If OU played Kansas with Jalen Daniels starting, we're losing. So I mean, he alters that team and he gives them life. So putting Jason Bean on that OT play is just I don't think you put it in his hands.
I agree. And I mean, we talk about quarterbacks who are going to be pretty good going into next year. Jalen Daniels is a junior. So returning to Kansas, returning to Lance Leipold's system with some familiar faces. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. With some familiar faces out wide. Luke Grimm was the leading receiver in this game. He's a junior. Lawrence Arnold is only a sophomore. So he's probably not going anywhere. The tight end Mason Fairchild is a senior, unfortunately. But you have a lot of great targets out wide. One of those guys, Jared Casey, familiar name if you're a Texas fan. 2 catches down the stretch in OT, really clutch catches. He didn't have any receptions outside of those OT periods or those clutch time periods. And he comes in clutch, and he adds on 6 yards to his season total. He ends with 218 yards and 3 touchdowns. And he was the hero of last year, hero of one of 2 wins for Kansas. But Beatty, let's get your thought on the Liberty Bowl.
Oh yeah, I think the way like Arkansas was kind of like being, I feel like the more dominant one with Kansas trying to always like bring up the rear, I guess. Like
Yeah.
like you said, they were keep fighting or whatever.
Yeah.
And I definitely saw that. And what Ben said about Jalen Daniels, that's completely true. I think the reason Kansas kind of like almost like not fell off, but like
They slowed down.
that like that later half of the season was because they didn't have him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ultimately, a really good season from Kansas.
Yeah, no, like, don't get me wrong. For Kansas, that thing's amazing.
Yeah, there's a big step up. Yeah.
Yeah, huge step up from a 2-10 season last year. Lance Leipold turning this team in the right direction. On the other end of things, Arkansas goes 7-6. Obviously, they have multiple opt-outs in this Liberty Bowl. But yeah, I mean, honestly, a pretty disappointing season from the Razorbacks. They had a couple early season wins. I mean, that win over Cincinnati looked to be a little better than it was earlier in the season. Win over South Carolina looks pretty good at this point. BYU win and Auburn win, and they beat Ole Miss. So really inconsistent. I mean, you lose to Texas A&M earlier in the season. You get just dismantled by Mississippi State. You lose to Liberty. Just a lot of losses you don't see every day from an Arkansas team who really we thought was going to compete a little bit more. And, you know, we had Ty Richardson on the podcast earlier in the process of this season, and he was pretty high on him as well. But unfortunately could not end off the way. Well, I guess they do end off the way they wanted to with a win, but maybe 7-6 wasn't the way they wanted to end. Let's go to the Holiday Bowl. Same night, I was watching these games, you know, flipping back and forth, Oregon and UNC. And it's Oregon pulling out the win 28-27. North Carolina led this ball game by a touchdown going into the half. And Oregon ultimately brings it to the third quarter and outscores the Tar Heels 14-6. Marquise Irving, I think they call him Buck, had a phenomenal game. I mean, you hear Gus Johnson. I mean, I would be looking on my phone or, you know, doing whatever, and I'd look up and it's Buck Irving off to the races. And, you know, we saw it time and time again, almost 150 yards and 2 touchdowns from him. Bo Nix, pretty Bo Nix game. I mean, if you could drop a stat line that describes Bo Nix the best, this is probably it. 23 of 30, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns, a pick, right? Drake May plays pretty good. He really surprised me with his legs. I mean, he's 6'5". He's a huge guy. And I mean, I know Joel Klatt, Gus Johnson, both those guys on the broadcast talked about it a lot. But yeah, it was at the end of the day, it was a really good game from Drake May. They fought and ultimately end up losing this game, but Oregon goes out on top. Oregon ends off Oregon ends off the season 10-3 and Holiday Bowl champions. And Mac Brown's squad falls a little bit short. They came into this game plus 13, which seems a little generous for the Ducks. But yeah, I think North Carolina was playing out without their best receiver, Josh Downs, which is to be noted. And yeah, not really a great rushing game from UNC. So just the key takeaways there. I'll open up the floor. Ben or Beatty, let's hear your thoughts on this year's Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good one. It was another one of those where you gave the quarterback the last possession of the game, and you really should not have given him last possession of the game. So Bo Nix goes down the field, and they scored a touchdown in the later seconds. And I mean, it's just there seems to be a lot of bowl games where like this, which is great for viewing. I'd love to see that, but it was a good Bo Nix game. Good way to end out his season. Drake May's a guy. He's a young player, but his future's looking bright.
Yeah, Beatty, I know you're a what do you call it? Avid Bo Nix fan? Is that the word?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You're
Like
a big
a
Bo
Bo-
Nix fan, Beatty. Let's choose
yeah.
on the game. Go
A
ahead,
Bo
bud.
Nix. Okay.
Super fan, not a super fan.
I think okay. Well, I followed him on Instagram, obviously, and I saw the ending of the season post. He's going back to Oregon for another year.
Yeah, going back to Eugene.
Good for him, honestly. I think as a recently married man, I think Bo Nix's career is gonna be great, and with all the assets, especially with Oregon being Oregon and having a great recruiting class and great players, I think Bo Nix is just surrounded by players who are gonna help him be successful. And then that's all I really see. I mean, there might be a game like a Georgia game where it doesn't click, but in the end, I think Bo Nix is gonna be a dark horse Heisman candidate next year.
I'm not going to doubt you on that one because last time you called out a dark horse Heisman candidate, it was Hendon Hooker coming into this season. And it was an absolute disgrace that he wasn't invited to New York. And Joe Tessitore and Greg McElroy, they were the ones who called that Clemson-Tennessee game. They both agreed. Joe Tessitore said it was a joke that he wasn't invited to New York, and I'd have to agree with him there. But at the end of the day, it was good to see Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on just a great game. Great crew. And I always love hearing them. Gus Johnson's just an absolute classic and a face loved by just about every college football fan out there, I would have to say. But
Yep.
North Carolina comes out short. Oregon wins the Holiday Bowl. A couple scores that we can just glance over. Duke beats UCF 30-13, surprising a little bit. Riley Leonard, really good game. Duke was -3, and they just blow that spread out of the water, and they are Military Bowl champions. East Carolina beats Coastal Carolina 53-29. Grayson McCall sits this game out, but he is returning to the Chanticleers next season
from the portal,
which is pretty big news. Whether he just couldn't get picked up or he wanted to come back to Coastal because he loved the team, loved the program. Also possible, and we'll see what he does in 2023. Holton Allers from ECU looked just absolutely phenomenal. He was really underrated the whole season. He's a dog. 300 yards, 5 touchdowns, kept the ball out of the other team's hand and played a really good game. Coastal couldn't get the ball moving down the field. Wisconsin beats Oklahoma State in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl 24-17 was the final there. And Texas Tech beats up Mississippi 42-25. Really surprising. Pinstripe Bowl goes in the favor of the Golden Gophers of Minnesota 28-20. Cuse just really fell off the face of the map. I mean, they came in, I think they were ranked like top 15 in the nation, and they just could not finish off this season strong. They lose by 8 to the Golden Gophers in the bowl game. And at a certain point in the season, Syracuse lost 5 games straight. 5 out of their last 6 games were a loss. Tough way to end off the season. Ben, you're an Oklahoma fan. Your boys went down to Florida State. They lost. It was 10-3 finish for Florida State. Really, really good game. Jordan Travis looked really good. And out wide, Johnny Wilson is just a beast in this game. He's only
dropped like a 70-yarder too. Like he would have had more.
Yeah. He's going to be a beast down the stretch. He's going to, once he, grows up a little bit, like you said, a drop, which was pretty big. And he's obviously only a sophomore, so he's got room to grow. But yeah, Ben, Beatty, let's get you guys' thoughts on this one. We'll start with Ben, the Sooner fan. Obviously, you guys were leading into the half and just couldn't really hang on in half number 2 of the Cheez-It Bowl.
I mean, for a 6-16 playing number 13 team in the country, like the effort that we put in to like finish this game out, only losing by 3 is something I'll take going into next year.
Yeah,
the future looks bright. I mean, two. I think it was like whoa, what, Beatty?
Bro, okay. You know, Auburn had your record last year, and you didn't hear me saying the future looks bright.
Future wasn't bright.
Because you definitely did not have as bright of a future as us.
Okay, but still,
where's your 5-star quarterback, Beatty?
Right.
But wasn't your prospect this year like not that good?
Who are you talking about?
Dylan Gabriel.
He's not a prospect.
Not a prospect, but like that was your guy.
Yeah, he definitely was worse than what we would have
What
I would have wanted. But I mean, he wasn't terrible.
I'm out. Let's go back to the this or that quarterback edition, where I literally called Max Duggan being a dog, and no one wanted to listen to me. Travesty. I was
like, no, don't even.
Are we taking Max Duggan or Dylan Gabriel? And everyone just has the audacity to be like, "Well, is this a joke? I mean, are you stupid?" And at the end of the day, Max Duggan's probably better than just about half the quarterbacks, maybe 3/4 of the quarterbacks that we listed. I guess I didn't really predict that, but I definitely threw him into consideration, and nobody.
You had it in the mind. You had it in mind.
Yeah.
All right,
but I won't take credit for that. Ben, let's finish up your thoughts.
Finish about Beatty. I mean, we had 2 freshmen running back run for 100 yards, which was like the first time since like 1960. So I mean, that's
Vontae Barnes looked good,
and Sawchuk. Barnes is like the power back or like the every down back, but Sawchuk has that explosion, which like I love from a running back.
Yeah.
And then defense side of the ball will get better, but FSU, they're really good. I mean, Jordan Travis is amazing. He's a great playmaker, and we really like. Trayshawn Ward, they came in with Trey Benson, and he really didn't do that much. But Trayshawn Ward was definitely a game changer for them. But I mean, giving up 200 yards to like receivers is just not the way we want to go. But
yeah, the secondary needs work for sure.
For both teams, I think both teams, everywhere I looked, both teams were like great game, great stuff by like there was complete respect. So I mean,
yeah,
it was a good game, and I think both teams really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, I think Oklahoma definitely played a really good game. To come out and play a top 15 team like that, especially after the somewhat disappointing season that you had here in 2022, is always a good sign heading into 2023, although you couldn't really pull it out. I think Oklahoma played a good game. 3-point loss is not the end of the world, to be completely honest. But yeah, I mean, I like what Oklahoma's doing. We'll see if they can come in, and whether it's going to be Dylan Gabriel, Jackson Arnold in 2023, 2024, we will see. Maryland beats NC State. Kind of a surprising win there. I was high on Talia Tagovailoa and that whole team. They end off 8-5. The Barstool Arizona Bowl goes in favor of Ohio, 30-27, an overtime game in the Barstool Arizona's Sun Bowl, or what am I saying? The Barstool Arizona Bowl, and Ohio ends the season off 10-4. Sugar Bowl, we don't have to touch on this. This was a joke for Kansas State. They get boat raced by Alabama, 45-20. They were not kidding around. Alabama came out flying, and in the second half, they really just took this game over and put it away. Music City Bowl goes to the Iowa Hawkeyes, 21-0. It was pick nation from Destin Wade. 2 picks, only 98 yards passing. Just an atrocious game from Kentucky. And Torrey Taylor's an absolute beast, a punter for Iowa. He had a couple good punts. Chris Rodriguez Jr. obviously sat out, and Will Levis declared and opted out. So it was just running on fumes for the Wildcats. They put up 0 points and end off the season. Quite disappointing in that one. Let's go to the Citrus Bowl. We can get thoughts on this one. Have you guys seen the rumors about Kayshon Boutte?
About him, he's declaring.
Didn't he declare?
Yeah, he declared for the draft, but there's rumors around like why he declared for the draft.
About why did he declare?
He just not want to go back.
No, some like in a I'm not going to say it. inappropriate party after the SEC championship game in Atlanta. A couple of coaches stepped away from the program after that, and then Kayshon Boutte was part of it and was involved with something and wanted to clear for the draft, so he didn't get caught. One of the other coaches stepped away from the program, and others are expected to be kind of, not fired, but just asked nicely to step away so they don't get caught either. But LSU, they came out, they put the hammer down. They didn't let those rumors get to them. 63-7. Obviously, O'Connell didn't play. Austin Burton played quarterback for Purdue. He didn't look good. I'm not going to lie to you. He did not look good. 2 quarterback look for LSU. Grant Nussmeier and Jaden Daniels both played and combined for a pretty good amount of yardage. Just absolute blowout from Louisiana State here, and they finish off 10-4. I don't think I've ever called LSU Louisiana State in my life. I don't think anyone's ever said that outside of me. But LSU finishes the season 10-4. Purdue's got a nice transfer quarterback, Hudson Card, coming in from Texas, though. That should be entertaining. But just absolutely just murdered on the field. It was just blood everywhere, heads chopped off. 63-7 extremely that's just out of pocket.
Yeah, I don't really. They were down 63-0 until the fourth quarter. So
Yeah,
they were really about to.
That's so crazy to me.
That's terrible. I mean,
was their touchdown like a mercy touchdown or like a garbage touchdown or whatever?
Yeah,
like
basically.
late game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Well, I mean, it was just at the start of the fourth. So I mean, either way, yes, because they were down 50. It's like 50-something to nothing. But I mean, it was like with 40 seconds left, LSU got a pick six, a 99-yard pick six. So I mean, like they were just adding it on. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah. I mean, definitely in bowl season, especially like earlier in the season, you see that and you're like, golly, they just got spanked. But in the Citrus
that's
Bowl,
supposed to be like a matchup. Like you're supposed to match up well.
Right. That's supposed to be like a really good game. And you come out and
you got to give them a little bit of
down.
credit. Like the people did a good job this year. Like
no, the
matchups are phenomenal.
I don't even have a problem with this for how good the other games were.
I don't think even matching that game up on paper, you don't see this one coming. I mean, obviously opt-outs with Aiden O'Connell and people like that hurt matchups and stuff like that. But I mean, Alabama, Kansas State, and all these games that we've really touched on have turned out to be pretty good. And yeah. So we will move down the list here where we have got a really fun one and a really good one that, means a lot to a lot of people really in the college football world and in the world in general, if you want to go that broad. It's Mississippi State getting a win over Illinois. Well-deserved. Will Rogers played a great game. Not great. He threw 2 picks. 1 touchdown, though. Mississippi State scratches it out. Not a offensive game that, is like a Mississippi State watermark where, it's just like they put up 500 points or I should say 500 total yards and like 50 points. They do pull it out, though. Illinois does not play a very good game. Obviously, Chase Brown did not play for the Fighting Illini, so that definitely has an impact on the game. Illinois' leading receiver, Isaiah Williams, came out with 9 catches, 114 yards. And, Tommy DeVito for Illinois did not play a good game. Really, we played decent, but not good enough to win. Only 1 touchdown for Illinois isn't going to win the game. Mississippi State came in top 25. They were favored. And they covered that 3.5-point line that they came in set at. So Mississippi State 19, Illinois 10, the final here. Mississippi State ends with 9 wins and really just great for the whole college football landscape to see as they go out and get a win for Coach Mike Leach.
Yeah, I mean, Will Rogers really didn't have a good game, but then last drive of the game leads the team down. They get in field goal range, kick a field goal, and then
put it to a 2-possession game.
Yeah, they got like a scoop and score to end the game.
Yeah.
So it was a good way to end it for Will Rogers. And it was very meaningful for this Mississippi State team, and I'm glad they got the win here.
Yeah, I mean, I know just about everyone in the nation was rooting for him. I mean, even a little bit Illinois fans were saying, I kind of want him to win this game. I'm not an Illinois fan, so I wouldn't know. But I mean, that was definitely, I'm sure, going through a couple Illinois fans' minds. But also, if you're listening, honestly, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, bet you had to go eat dinner. I hope it's good. Not really planned out great by Mr. Noon, but It's just me and Ben till we get to our top moments draft. No biggie. Let's go to the Orange Bowl, Tennessee. Woo! Let's go, baby. Joe Milton. The future is bright. The future is bright. Squirrel White, 108 yards receiving and a touchdown. Joe Milton. He was just throwing laser beams around the yard. And Cade Klubnik played not good. Not a lot of help from his offensive line or receivers, but he did not play a good game. Really just a travesty of this one was BT Potter. Just absolutely hooped himself in front of like millions of people. He had 3 missed field goals his whole career at Clemson. He missed 3 in this game. I think it was like 55, 49, and 42 were the 3 distances he missed from. So tough loss from Clemson. 31-14 is the final score here in the Tennessee Vols' favor. Really good to see from Tennessee. Obviously, Clemson had multiple chances to go in and punch it in. Bend don't break defense here from Tim Banks and the Vols. And they went into half up 14-3. The Tigers had chances to put the ball in the end zone or even obviously make a couple field goals, and they couldn't convert. So Tennessee wins this game, and Tennessee didn't have to face a 4th down. They didn't go for it on 4th down, which is not something you see a lot, but Clemson went for it 3 times and didn't get it. So I'm really, as a Tennessee fan, proud of the defense. We played really good. Aaron Beasley, I was trash talking earlier in the game, and he had a day, a couple sacks, really good tackling game from him. And without Jeremy Banks, Jalen Hyatt, Cedric Tillman, Hendon Hooker, and a lot of key pieces for Tennessee, we go out and snag the W by multiple possessions. So Tennessee looked good. Great 11-win season. And I mean, it just sucks to think about if you don't lose to South Carolina, you're in the playoff right now, and who knows what we would have done, but probably would have not blown a lead like Ohio State did. But I mean, who knows?
With Joe Milton, I don't know.
Joe Milton and Nico and Taven, that's going to be a fun 3-way QB competition next season. And you would think that Joe Milton comes out on top.
He's definitely in the lead.
He's definitely going to be the day 1 starter. We'll see if it's another situation where he comes out and can't hold on to the starting job down the stretch like we saw Hendon Hooker take over back in 2021, 2022 season. But yeah, Tennessee was +4 going into the game. They won outright. They won by 17. So hopefully you didn't bet on the Clemson -4 spread there. And so at the end of the day, really proud of Tennessee and really Joe Milton. I know. He's throwing oranges at the end of the game. He won the Orange Bowl MVP, and he was throwing oranges, and somebody edited it together where he like threw an orange, and it like cut to like in Rookie of the Year where he like throws it, and it's like zipping around and like about to hit people in the face because he's throwing like 110. So yeah, Joe Milton's got a freaking cannon on him. If he can rein in the accuracy, he will be like a first round 2, round 3 draft pick. Yeah, man. I mean, I think Joe Milton, he's got it ahead of him if he can go out and win this game. He did go out and win this game. I'm saying if he can go out and win games next year is what I meant. And Ben, Tennessee and Clemson.
Even though you're a Tennessee fan, you're disappointed. But when you look at it, this is such a great year for y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all would have taken this no matter what. And it was a great year, great way to end it. Cade Klubnik, he was a true freshman. He showed it. All the pressure that he was getting from that Tennessee D line, and he struggled. But he's a great player, and I'm looking forward to seeing him play in the future. Their running back Will Shipley is so good. I look forward to seeing him play in the future too. So this Clemson team, they lose. They get a starter. They lose DJ. And so Cade's taking over. So we'll see how they do next year, and we'll see how Joe Milton does.
Yeah, we will. We will. It could be really good or it could be really bad. We could get some Michigan State syndrome and go 10-11-2 and then go 5-7. But you would hope that's not what happens. I don't think it'll happen. I think we got too much talent for that to be allowed. But I guess we'll see. Should be a fun season. Let's go to the Gator Bowl. Notre Dame beats South Carolina 45-38. Take that, Gamecocks. You want to beat us? That's why you lose in the Gator Bowl to Notre Dame. Obviously a great season from Shane Beamer, and obviously a great season from Shane Beamer. What are you talking about, Ben?
I think you already did it.
No, we didn't. We talked about it before, right?
No, because we talked about Tyler Buckner's 2 pick sixes.
No, we talked about that off air. We talked about that when we were on FaceTime.
Did we?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't.
Yeah, we did. I swear.
Yeah, we did. Sorry.
Yeah. At this point, we can't anymore. We can't show these like hand signals because then on YouTube they'll catch on. But yeah, I don't. No, we didn't touch on this. Tyler Buckner, 2 pick-sixes.
No, we didn't.
He comes back with Drew Pine transferring to Arizona State. Spencer Rattler throws a pick, and yeah, I mean, South Carolina had chances going into this game. They had a couple opportunities down the stretch to win, and in the second half, really Notre Dame took over. Fighting Irish win this one, 45-38. Let's move on to the Alamo Bowl. Washington and Texas, 27-20. The Huskies beat the Longhorns. Quinn Ewers, decent game. Michael Penix, though, is going to be a problem next year. Obviously, he's returning to Seattle to play for Washington. So he's going to be a fun watch. UW was +3 heading into this game. They win outright by 7 points. And, obviously circulating the internet was that video of Sam Ehlinger a couple years ago after they won the Alamo Bowl when he was like, Texas, we're back. And then they're not back. They're not. Maybe next year. Bijan Robinson did not play. So, Keelan Robinson was their go-to. Yeah, they couldn't get the ball going in the run game at all. And they end up 8-5. Kalen DeBoer, 11-2 in his first season at Washington. Great season from the Huskies. And I'm glad to see him win this one.
Yeah, I love to see it. Michael Penix next year could definitely be a dark horse Heisman candidate. I mean, I think they led the nation in passing this year. Hopefully there's only up for him. And so Texas, I think they'll take it. Really, I know they don't want it, but I think they'll take it. I mean, after having as terrible of a season they did last year, you have a great recruiting class, and I mean, you beat Oklahoma 49-0. So
right,
seems like a good season for them in terms of going up. And so it was a good game between two on the rise teams.
Yeah, for sure. Let us move on. I think we've touched on everything. We got the college football semifinals here before you hit the break, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Let's start the 1-4 matchup. The later of the two games leaked over into the 2023 year, but it was Georgia beating Ohio State 42-41. Brutal for the Buckeyes. They obviously had multiple chances to go out and win this game. They were up at the half. They were up like 38-24 going into the fourth quarter and obviously couldn't hold on. CJ Stroud, I said it going in, make CJ Stroud beat you with the pressure, and he lit him up. CJ Stroud played an excellent game. Obviously, first drive or two of the game, he looked a little bit shaky, but he pulled it in, and the Buckeyes looked good. The run game for Ohio State was iffy. Obviously, Mine Williams got injured, didn't play a ton. Marvin Harrison Jr. got injured, didn't play a ton. But Emeka Egbuka stepped up. He played good. And a surprisingly very good game from Julian Fleming, wide receiver 3 in Columbus. So Ohio State had a chance to win it. They shouldn't have allowed a couple quick scores from the Bulldogs in the first place. But then you have a chance to win the game on a field goal. And he kicks it about 35 yards straight and 35 yards to the left. So not a good kick at all. I don't really know if he just got nervous, but Noah Ruggles, 2 for 3 on the game. Good game. I mean, he played a good game other than that, and it was a 50-yarder, and he could not knock it in, and it was not close. So it was a weird game for sure for Ohio State fans. I mean, you have to be watching that thinking, oh, my God, we're going to beat the defending champs. We got TCU in the championship game. And, I mean, as a college football fan and a Tennessee fan, I was rooting against Georgia heavily in this matchup. And I was watching this game saying, okay, the Buckeyes are going to win, and we're going to see TCU and Ohio State, the 4 and the 3, both pull upsets and make it. But Georgia pulls it out. Stetson Bennett, tired of him. But yeah, man. I mean, I know his 38th birthday is coming up, so maybe we'll see Stetson. We'll see Stetson turn 40, make it to the NFL, stuff like that. But obviously, he played a good game. A couple good games on the Georgia side of things. Kenny McIntosh, not a great run game at all from Georgia, but a pretty good receiving game. Brock Bowers, Kenny McIntosh, A.D. Mitchell all got involved, and same with Arian Smith, who we hadn't seen a lot of. So OSU fumbles the bag, cannot pull off the win, and the Bulldogs, the defending champs, take on the Horned Frogs in the finale of this college football season.
Yeah, I mean, CJ Stroud had a great game. Everyone was iffy on him, but he proved he should have been up there at the Heisman. He was a Heisman contender. I mean,
yeah,
4 touchdowns on this great Georgia defense is amazing. And I mean, Stetson Bennett had that rough pick, but he stepped up at the end. They didn't run the ball much, but they were good when they ran it. All their rushers had over 7 yards of carry.
Yeah.
And I mean that's just amazing. And they were just able to get over the top at the end of the game versus this Ohio State defense. But I mean, if you're Ohio State, this is really everything that could have gone right went right, except for the end of the game. I mean, Marvin Harrison got hurt, which really hurt them.
Yeah, I mean, without Marvin Harrison.
But I mean, it was a rough way to end it for him. But this Ohio State did what they needed to do to try to win this game.
Yeah. Yeah. Ohio State ends off 11-2. Georgia is now 14-0 and has the chance to finish off their perfect season against TCU in the national championship game. Let's get to TCU, Michigan. This game was phenomenal. I mean, at certain points in the game, you just had to say TCU is going to run away with this one. TCU is going to win. All right, this one's in the bag. I mean, it was 21-6 going into the half. Horned Frogs had complete control of this game, and man, Michigan kept battling. They kept fighting. Obviously, I mean, we'll get to the end of the game, but TCU wins 51-45. They move on to the national championship game. And yeah, I mean, the story of the game for Michigan was they could not convert on fourth down, third down, anything. When the drive depended on it, they weren't going to finish, right? They were 3 for 15 on third or fourth down efficiency, and they did not play well. They didn't really play like Michigan. I mean, I kept up hope for Michigan fans after the end of the first half because I was like, okay, we've seen Michigan be down at half. We've seen this story over and over again, but maybe J.J. McCarthy, Ronnie Bell, Roman Wilson, Donovan Edwards will all show out. Defense will step up, get a few big stops, and but no, it never happened. Michigan outscored TCU in the third quarter, played a pretty good game in the second half, but TCU wasn't going away. Quentin Johnson played a phenomenal game. Amari DeMercado played phenomenal. He was the leading rusher for TCU, only 472 yards on the season, and he stepped up. I mean, he kind of came out of nowhere. Kendre Miller was battling injuries down the stretch of this game, and he stepped up big time. Max Dugan, pretty good game, 14-29. Threw 2 picks that kind of hurt him down the stretch, but he only took 1 sack. And that was kind of the story of this game was Michigan couldn't get home. They let Max Dugan kind of scramble, extend plays, and even stay poised and hit people down the stretch. Darius Davis had a really good return. I wanted to mention him. He had a good return and a good day receiving. And, obviously the usual suspects and Jordan Hudson and Tay Barber. But, man, Michigan fans think they're screwed. I believe it was Roman Wilson down on like the 1 yard line where there was that questionable call of whether he got in the end zone or not with possession of the ball.
I think he was in.
You didn't think he was in?
I think he was in. I think when he had possession, he was in, I think.
What was the ruling on the field? A touchdown, right?
The ruling was a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, and that's where it gets a little iffy. If the ruling was no touchdown, there's definitely
I don't think there was enough to reverse
there wasn't disputable video evidence. So for that reason, it's probably not. That being said, if you look at it, if you look at it from a certain angle, he has the ball like this. If you're watching on YouTube, he has the ball like this, and his butt hits like this short of the line. So that makes it look like not a touchdown. It was so up in the air that I would have honestly just stuck with the ruling on the field, and that was no touchdown, or excuse me, that was a touchdown. So from that perspective, it's weird because there was definitely not disputable video evidence. But if you look at it in depth, I didn't think it was a touchdown, but you have to stay with the ruling on the field because by no means was there enough evidence to overturn that. Yeah. And I mean, same with the targeting call late in the game. I mean, that was brutal.
That was clear targeting.
That was
I don't know where you are looking.
Yeah, from every angle that looked like I mean, he got smoked, led with the crown of the helmet, and that was bad. And whether Michigan would have scored in that, whatever, how much time was on the clock?
Okay, right, like, I mean, the penalty would change it, but like, is it even that? Because if you fumble, right? If the offense fumbles, can't the only person who fumbled advance the ball? Or something like that? Like, I don't know if you can advance the ball on offense.
Yeah, it was like a forward pass or something like that. It was
they fumbled, and then it squeaked out, and then like an O lineman
picked it up and like lateral,
and then they threw a forward pass.
Yeah, it was
weird. chain
Yeah.
of events right there.
But the final say was Donovan Edwards. The play by play says Donovan Edwards passed to Colston Loveland for 1 yard loss, tackled by Millard Bradford. So that was the final say on that one. I'm trying to let me pull up who had that targeting, because I can't remember his name off the top of my head. Yeah, let's see it.
The player who targeted.
Yeah, was it
Hodges
Keon
Tomlinson.
Keon Stewart, number
I think it
2?
was Travius Hodges Tomlinson.
It was really.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was him. He had a really good game though. I'm not gonna lie, he had a great
D
one.
Winners. The D Winners.
D Winners is a freaking beast.
He had a day.
He is going to be a beast at the next level. Yeah, I mean, a couple good games by a couple players. Bud Clark, really good game. He had a pick 6 that really started this game off.
There were 2 pick sixes in this game too.
Yeah. D Winners, like you said, Travius Hodges Tomlinson, 3 picks on the season. He played a good game. Obviously, clear targeting at the end of the game.
It was.
But yeah, I mean, we have got a Georgia TCU. And I think if you let me be in the future here and looking at this final score recap of bowl season, I would have been flabbergasted. I mean, to see Tulane beat USC is number 10. TCU is going to the national championship game to play Georgia. Alabama's not in the playoff. They play number 9 Kansas State. Tennessee is ranked number 6 in the nation, and they beat Clemson in the Orange Bowl. Oregon State is a top 15 team in the nation, right? I mean, Baylor has a bad year. They go 6-6. Wake Forest goes 7-5. Wisconsin has a down year. Duke wins 9 games. Kansas is in the bowl. Texas Tech beats Ole Miss, and Ole Miss ends with 5 losses. I mean, just everything about this season, you have not have seen it coming. Oklahoma finishes 6-6, now 6-7, and just a lot of crazy stuff from this year, and not something that we would have expected from the rip of this season. But any final thoughts on the college football playoff or bowl season in general? Oh, the Rose Bowl just ended. We're recording Monday night, January the 2nd, and the Rose Bowl has just come to a finish. It was Penn State. Penn State just blew Utah out of the water in the second half. 35-21 was the final. We won't go too in depth on this one, but Nick Singleton, 84-yard rush to kind of kick this one off here in the second half. And 21-7. Penn State outscored Utah in the final half of this game. Cam Rising got hurt. So second year in a row where Cam Rising's been injured during the Rose Bowl. Stepping in was Bryson Barnes, who we've seen in 3 or 4 games this season. So Penn State has the rose in their teeth after this season, or after this game, and they win the Rose Bowl. 0-2 in 2 years for Utah in the Rose Bowl. They finished the season 10-4. So we will hit the break. We have got the best moments of 2022 coming up now that we're in a new year. I'm really excited for this one. Beatty will be back with us in the second half of the episode, and we've got a snake draft in half number 2. We will see you on the other side. Episode 28, part 2. One. Welcome back in from the break, episode 28. We've got the best moments of 2022 in a snake draft format here for you. Kind of fallen in love with the snake draft format. We had a Christmas movie snake draft with our buddy Sam Sparkman, but Beatty's here for our second snake draft, Southern Boy Sports history. First of all, I would like to shout out Pocky, the spot. I'm just kidding. These things are gas, though. I've been chomping on them here lately. Cookies and cream Pockies. Not sponsored at all. Never talked to anyone from Pocky in my life, but hey, we're open for anything. And yeah, at the end of the day, the strawberry ones are the best, but these cookies and cream ones are not bad. They do kind of look like sticks, though. So that's kind of the point. But
aren't they called like hockey sticks?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll get to our draft here. This is going to be fun. We got our top moments 2022. Here's how it's going to go. We're going to do everyone picks a number. Ben's gonna randomly number generate a number on Google. The sponsor. No, I'm just kidding. Google's not sponsoring today's episode. That's it for that.
Stop saying that. We're gonna get like
The closest one to the number gets the first overall pick. And I think the second closest should get the third overall pick because the second pick is really the worst pick in the draft.
no.
Wait, is this out of like a certain like 10 or something? Because
Yeah, out of 10, out of 10. It's not just like
Okay.
out of like
Yeah.
500,000.
I mean, we
I feel like
could.
the second pick though, you don't get a pick twice. So you're kind of just like, you know what I'm saying?
Sure. Are you all right with that, Beatty?
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sure.
We ride. First,
Mhm.
closest to the number gets the number 1. Second closest to the number gets the number 3. And the last, the least, the furthest away from the number gets number 2. All right, let's ride. I've got 3. Give me 3. I got it on the nose last time. Give me 3.
Yeah, you did. All right, Beatty, you go.
6.
All right, I'm gonna go 7.
All right, 3, 6, and 7.
Here we go. We're generating.
Generating the number now.
It's 5.
Is that me? No, it's Beatty. Beatty gets number 1. I get number 3, and you get 2.
Yeah.
Okay,
Oh,
so
I get 3.
No, because I was second closest. You had
No, you
7.
weren't.
I
Oh,
had
did
3.
say 7. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we're both 2 apart. What do you mean?
Okay, so how do we do this?
We gotta redo it.
All right,
Just-
redo that. Should we do closest gets number 2 or number 3?
I don't care.
All right, closest gets number 2. Closest
All right.
gets number 2.
All right.
Out of 10,
Okay.
give me big money, 8. Give me 8.
Give me 4. I'm taking 4.
4. Okay.
It's 4 on the dot.
Okay.
Let's go.
We ride. I got the
All
third
right.
overall pick. Beatty, kick
Beatty,
it
you
off,
wanna
bud.
start her up?
So we have 5 each, right?
Yeah, let me make sure I write these down so I can pull up like a picture of it to put on the YouTube video. Let me get prepared. Got a notebook right here in the desk and kick it off, bud.
All right, I'm gonna go with the Hail Mary. App State and
Yeah.
oh, who
Troy.
was it?
Troy.
Troy.
It was Troy.
That thing was insane, and he did the little lateral at the end for him to go into the end zone.
Yeah.
That was a unforgettable moment in the season, no doubt.
Yeah, I agree. I think App State may have a few appearances. They played a pretty good season, all in all. And okay, so if you didn't watch the Christmas snake draft video or listen to it, we're gonna do it the same way. Everybody gets 5 picks, snake draft style. So it'll be Beatty, me, or Beatty, Ben, me,
You.
Ben, Beatty. You know how snake draft works.
Yeah.
Ben, let's kick to you.
All right, I'm taking. It's a recent one. I'm taking the missed field goal in this Georgia Ohio State game. I mean,
Okay.
I could basically do the whole game in general, but we're thinking moments here, and that's a big moment, and it's a pretty it's a good one.
So I've got 2 picks. This is played right into my hands. This is a good one. This is good. The third overall pick, give me. I forgot. Oh, yeah. We're going back to the first day of 2022, really, or one of the first games of 2022, the 2022 national championship game where Keely Ringo picked off Bryce Young to end the game. A pick 6 from Keely Ringo to seal it for the Georgia Bulldogs. And are we thinking this went off the board at the right time or no?
was thinking about it.
I think that's valid. I think that's
It was
valid.
definitely I was between that for my next pick, between that and something else. So
Okay. All right. Now I've got pick number 4 in the draft, my second overall selection here in the snake draft. Give me. Oh, okay. I got a couple written down here. I'm going with Tennessee. Chase McGrath knocking down the 52 or the 50-yard field goal plus to knock off our rival Alabama in the final seconds of the game at Neyland Stadium. I guess you could take the moment of us dragging the goalpost into the river as my moment. But yeah, give me that Tennessee Alabama ball game. Just a barn burner.
yeah, I'm gonna go all the way back too. And I'm gonna talk about the Rose Bowl that just happened today. I'm gonna talk about Jackson Smith and Jigba's performance. We had like almost 400.
Oh, so
receiving
last year's
yards.
Rose Bowl.
Yeah, he
Last
had
year's
like
Rose
almost.
Bowl. Was that 2021?
Yeah, it was. I think I looked it up because I had to make sure it was like the second.
Okay, so it was January 2nd, 2022.
Mhm.
Okay.
And so yeah, JSN had an outstanding game, and that just really stuck out to me because it was, and it was also a great bowl game. He had 347 receiving yards.
Holy smokes.
Absurd.
It's a shame we didn't get to see him play this season.
Absurd.
He'll be back next year, though. I think Ohio State's definitely a bigger contender if they have JSN this season healthy.
They could have won. They beat Georgia with JSN.
Yeah, I agree with that probably. And I mean that caused the secondary so many problems. I mean, you got Egbuka, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously in the JSN. That's just a dirty receiving core. Plus Mine Williams and guys like that in the backfield. And Travion Henderson as well, who I believe got injured. So Buckeyes,
he was playing that game though.
Yeah, Buckeyes left the door open on a couple spots there. But Beatty, you've got back-to-back picks, bud. Go ahead.
Let's see. I'm gonna say that Bo Nix pick, like his pick in the first game of the season against Georgia. It was like that like deep ball or whatever, and the dude like Odell that crap.
Malachi Starks. Yeah, he did do that.
Yeah.
Like mossed on that guy like hard.
Mhm.
That was crazy. I was like, oh my god, like that was nuts.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Got back-to-back picks.
I'm gonna say the TCU field goal to stay undefeated against Baylor.
Yeah.
Dang,
ran out on the field.
That one was crazy. That not gonna lie, that was pretty great.
Great pick.
Yeah, that's a great pick. Great value at number 7 too.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ben.
For me, I'm taking it back to the beginning of the 2022 season. I'm picking I'm sorry, I'm forgetting it. LSU's miss PAT to send it into OT.
Oh, against Florida State. Okay.
Yeah, a great game where LSU missed that PAT. It was a great game, but I mean, that was definitely a big moment.
Crazy how both teams have come pretty far. I mean, you think about if you told me Florida State ended the season with 9 wins, I mean, that would be, or 10 wins, I think.
Yeah.
That would be extremely surprising to me. LSU, I thought after that, okay, this team's absolutely done for. But they kind of bounced back and they're in a 10-win season. They finished 10-4. It's my turn though. And this could be a little bit of a blasphemy here, but give me the game between UNC and App State week 1 coming out of the gate. 63-61 was the final score in that one. And
like 40 points in the fourth quarter.
Yeah. So that's my pick there. Or whoops, I accidentally wrote my name down instead of writing the thing. But go ahead and chat about this one while I jot this down.
Yeah, great game. I mean, that was when like it put App State on the board too. And then they had like game day there. Like, was it next week? It was either next week or the week after that. Yeah, just put App State on the board, and I mean, it was just a great game. I was at Dollywood, so I was falling out my phone, and it was crazy. So yeah.
Okay, I got pick number 10 here. This is my 4th pick, so we're kind of flying down the draft boards here. My 10th overall pick. Give me the late game scenario between Florida and Tennessee, where Tennessee was bound to win the game, but then Florida almost returned the kickoff or the onside kick. They got the onside kick and had a chance to win and lost it. That brings me back to the App State UNC game where the UNC guy returned the onside kick for a touchdown. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot about that one, but yeah, I like this Tennessee and Florida late game scenario. Onside kick recovered by Florida, just the most Tennessee thing of all time. But we end up pulling it out. So yeah, that was definitely a top moment, especially because I was so invested in it. So give me that one.
I'm gonna go with the first Utah USC game. Utah's late touchdown and they go for 2 to win it, and they get it. It was a great game. Caleb Williams had 5 touchdowns. Cameron Rising had 5 total touchdowns. It was just a great game overall. And you can pick out the moment of them going for 2 because I'd love to see USC win, but I mean or lose. But it was just a great game.
So you have the first game of the Pac-12 championship.
The first one.
The first one. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Cam Rising unfortunately went out in the Rose Bowl. Both teams lost their bowl games at the end of the day, but I mean, both teams Pac-12 championship appearance, good season from Utah, and earlier in the season, I mean, that was a huge. I think I picked that upset too. I picked that upset to happen on the picks,
Yeah.
and it ended off paying off. Ended up paying off, and I think Utah might have worn like special helmets or something that game, and they end up knocking USC off, which is a big win for them back then. But yeah, good pick, good pick. Beatty, you got back to back to I think
End
you
it.
that'll be your final picks.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'm gonna burn one on like a fun pick. I think it was a pretty cool moment. I think when Owen Papo like rocks Sean Clifford,
Oh yeah.
that was, I mean, that might not be the biggest play of the season, but that was
It was
just
good. Yeah.
so sad. Like it was just a boom, and he was like flying.
Mhm.
That was pretty great. I really like that moment. And then the second one, I know Drew already talked about it, and I don't know if it'll count or if he took it already, but this is an individual performance.
Okay.
Jalen Hyatt with like how many
Mm.
touchdowns? Like
I think
five.
yeah, you can count
Five
that.
or six touchdowns. Yeah, that
I
would
think
count
like
that for sure.
That like
yeah.
you have to
Good
recognize
pick.
that. That's
Mm.
like otherworldly.
Yeah, yeah. That yeah. Jalen Hyatt 6 or 5 touchdown performance against Alabama. Without him, we probably wouldn't have won that game. So, uh, great pick, great value. Ben, it's to you,
Well,
then me. Then we're finished off with
I'm
this moments draft.
I feel like I kind of caught one here that no one else really thought about. I'm gonna go with TCU Michigan. I mean, I know like the game. I can pick the game. I can pick someone individual, but I think the game was just overall amazing. It was one of the great. It was a great CFP game, and I think it deserves a spot up here.
Okay. I'm debating my last pick here. I can't. There's a lot of options open. I think. What did I just pick? I picked Tennessee, Florida, late game
Yeah, you picked
situation.
the right game.
TCU, Michigan. You got. I had one that I didn't write down and it escaped my mind. I'm debating if I want to put Kansas. I'm going to put Kansas, Arkansas, late game situation in the Liberty Bowl to cap off the
Jason.
season. Just going, Jason Bean throwing the ball into the stands. Um, a really good game though. I mean, not people thought it was gonna be a good game, but the way that game ended with so many antics and the targeting call late in the game, and just both teams kind of, Kansas playing catch up the whole game. We definitely recapped that one a little bit, but it was fun. It was a fun game, fun way to end off 2022. And I mean, definitely so many more moments that you could put up there. I'm sure we definitely missed a couple.
I got my honorable mention. I was talking about it with Drew. I was thinking about it, just to make him mad, but you remember the Gavin Bartholomew hurdle?
The
on
hurdle from Pitt's hurdle. That
Oh, the
was
pick
not
guy. Yeah, that was
Tennessee?
really
I was
nice.
thinking
Yeah.
about picking that one.
That was nasty. I was debating Max Dugan having that performance against Oklahoma. Like not even as a joke, just seriously, because that kind of put him on track to have the Heisman season he did. I was gonna put Caleb Williams winning the Heisman as his top moment, but I don't.
You definitely could have.
I think. I mean, that's just kind of obvious. I didn't want to harp on the obvious, so I think that's definitely up there. I'm trying to brainstorm any other like crazy moments that happened in 2022, but I know ESPN and Fox both put out videos of their top moments from 2022. Ben actually came up with this idea. He brainstormed the segment, came up with it. So credit to ESPN and Fox for doing whatever, but
I
this
did
one
it
came
first.
straight out of the dome of Mr. Clay. So we got to give him credit there. But man, it's just college football season has absolutely flown by. We
It
started
has.
the podcast just on a whim, just in the middle of the off season, just dead period. We got recruiting, we had stuff like that, and it's kind of grown. It's the brand has grown. We continue to try and grow it even more, and it's been a blast, man. New year and some more goals for Southern Boys Sports. It's getting real. It's getting freaking real. So I don't know what we're gonna do next episode. Definitely recap the college football playoff national championship game. That'll be going
Tuesday.
on
Tuesday.
as we
We'll probably have to
record.
we'll probably have to record Tuesday.
Yeah, after yeah, because we would look like clowns. We
Yeah.
wouldn't really have much to do. I
Recording
guess
the
we
day
could just
before.
what we might do is bring in.
What if we did
I
the
don't know.
live reaction?
We
That'd
could
be
do that.
nice.
Is that Tuesday?
It's Monday. The day we
It's
go back.
Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me take a peek. See, look at my calendar. No, I'm good. Okay. That might be what we do. It would can we do it? Can we do it at the Clay's house? Would that be possible?
I'll try to figure it out. I think
Does
I need
that
it done.
does that garage TV work?
Yeah.
Okay. We could slap it on the garage TV.
Oh yeah.
I would have to find a way to make it a YouTube because like no one wants to just watch our faces, dear. Like we're gonna have to find a way to like put the game on
Yeah,
and record.
I'm pretty sure you're able to put the ESPN like the game.
I think you are.
Yeah,
I think you just have to give them credit. Give them credit, like this is their product or whatever.
maybe.
And then it's okay.
I don't
You can
know.
put like the ESPN like game tracker on it, and so they can see what's going on.
Oh, the game tracker. Yeah, that might like somebody screen record it or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, like the game cast. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that might work. All right, we'll brainstorm that for sure. We we got to find a time to come out there and let's just what we're done with the episode, but let's just have some talk. Let's just talk for the last 10 minutes here of the podcast. So we got to clear out Ben's garage
Right.
because we got to put all of our stuff in there. I got a mini fridge in Dirty Santa. It was actually some phenomenal events happened in Dirty Santa. I got the mini fridge, stole it from my Uncle John, got it. I was getting all cocky with it, and my dad had the last pick, and he took it from me. Said, this will be great for my office. Whatever. I end up with a Tennessee koozie and a $25 Visa gift card. I was cool. I was just going to buy my own mini fridge because you know what? I wanted it. Turns out, so then my cousin Wade traded with my dad to get the mini fridge for a $25 Visa gift card straight up. Then Wade traded it to me. I honestly got fleeced because it can only fit like three cans. Actually, it can fit like 6 cans in there. It'll look cool on the set though. And then so yeah, mini fridge going. I got some some bottles right up there that might like look kind of cool. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'm thinking we got to put up like those like Christmas lights that are like, but they're not really Christmas lights. Like you can put them up anytime, and they're like white and they're like on a line.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think that looked decent. And then you have that dartboard in there, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's tough. Okay, I think the set's coming along. We got to find a time to go out there and clear it out.
Yeah.
What were you saying about the order? Like we have to put it in a certain spot.
Well, my dad just wants it putting in certain spots, so he'd have to be. He really doesn't have time, so we just got to figure that out. Which sucks 'cause he's not going to be here all week, so going skiing with my brother in Colorado.
Oh, is that like retreat that they go on?
No. He's just going skiing with him and one of Dale's friends.
All right, that's definitely the move, though. I think next weekend. Is he gonna be back over the weekend?
He should be. Either way,
Saturday,
but Dan will have to be back for school. So I mean,
yeah, Saturday or
run
Sunday,
we can
go
run
out there
a test run or something. So we'll see.
Yeah, Saturday or Sunday, I guess we can go out there and clear it out if he's back, and then have it ready for the live reaction of the game.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely the move, and then maybe like record like a short episode later on in the week. Like I don't know, just like
We'll see.
throw something together.
I mean, we can all get to places now. So
yeah, seriously, Beatty, do you have a car yet?
I don't have a car either. So.
Hold on. I'm still 15. My birthday's not till January. I just took the test early.
Dude, that's what I thought. I knew Beatty was not 16, but I was like,
so when I'm, what's it?
So did you take driver's ed like this week?
Oh yeah, I got my permit like the day of my birthday.
Oh yeah.
So I had it way more than 6 months.
Yeah.
That's
but
wild.
yeah, I have to wait like a month.
It was actually so easy. I mean,
it's like insanely easy.
Yeah.
I got to get the serpentine belt fixed in my car. It's been chirping at me. It's pretty bad actually. If it snaps, you just stop. So it's not too good. You just be going like 60 and it's just like, so it could be a problem. I'm not gonna lie. I gotta get it fixed. I'm getting it fixed on Saturday. So hopes and prayers from Southern Boy Sports family that it survives because that would be detrimental. So nonetheless, good episode, fun college football discussions, and man, a great 2022 from the Southern Boys here. Get us 200 followers on Instagram. Get us to 200 followers over on Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a 5-star review. Editing the YouTube video tonight, so that will go up probably tomorrow, the same time the episode is published. Tell you what, editing a YouTube video is no joke. I used to watch YouTube, and the creators would be like, I don't know if I can stay that consistent. Editing it is, it's tough. Yeah, it's freaking hard. So no editors yet until we get a little bigger. We can pay the guys the big bucks to edit us. But until then, I'll be doing it, watching some Monday Night Football, and then getting in the covers and going to bed. But Beatty, Ben, also, Beatty, I know you had to eat some dinner in between segments. Ben, I want you to try and guess what he had for dinner. It's a fish.
Salmon.
Swordfish. He had swordfish for dinner.
What?
I didn't even know you could eat that. I'm not going to lie.
It was actually very good. It was actually very good.
It has to be like
Not gonna lie.
imported from like Saudi Arabia. Something wild.
Hold on, though. If we don't do like thing, national championship picks, who we taking?
Oh, yeah. if we
TCU.
don't do it live.
TCU.
Go Horned Frogs.
Yeah,
Hypno Toad for the win.
I'm for the Toads.
I think they can pull it out. Georgia's going to come out firing. I think it's a game where Georgia gets up like 7-0. I'm not going to say Georgia. One of the team gets up and just it seems like momentum's going their way, and then the other team kind of fights back and is back and forth. I think it's going to be a great game. It'd be a travesty if TCU just gets like pummeled and loses by like 35 points. I don't think it'll happen though. I think they're good enough to compete, and people have been hating on them. Like Stephen A. Smith. Do you see that? That's been surfacing more lately, when he was like, you have to see the strength of schedule. If you don't play anyone all year, you're not going to be able to compete at the next level. And they went on and they beat Michigan. So it was a really fun episode. It was episode 28 of the show. Like I said, follow our Twitter, follow our Instagram, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and give us a 5-star review on Spotify. We're trying to get those numbers up and get the analytics rolling on all social media sites. So make sure to help us out. Should be a national championship live show or live reaction. Not 100% sure how we're going to work that out quite yet, but we'll figure it out. And it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Ben, Beatty, any objections before we end off episode 28 and the first episode of 2023?
Happy New Year, guys.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
We're recording on January 2nd. You'll listen to it on January 3rd or, whenever you're listening. It's been fun. Episode 29, same place, same time next week. Maybe a live stream of the national championship game in our new set. We'll see. Send us prayers for my serpentine belt. And yeah, this wow. I was hoping for a crisp ending right there, but I couldn't get it. This has been episode 28 of the Southern Boy Sports Podcast. Follow our socials, and we will be back same time, same place next week. See you, boys.